Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. Inside of today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the best 10 brawlers in the game right now. So it's been about a month since I've done any type of top ranking meta video. Of course, we've got two brand new brawlers in the meta with RT and Willow, so we'll be diving into what I think is the final kind of ranking for this meta. So of course, before we jump into the video, make sure you're using the creator code. That'd be greatly appreciated. And without further ado, let's hop into it. All right, guys, so before we jump into the top 10, got to run through a few honorable mentions, starting off with Surge. So Surge is a brawler which a lot of people are complaining about on Reddit right now. In 1v1 interactions, he is kind of broken with the power shield gadget, but in competitive, he's only really strong against those tanky brawlers, but he's still a really good option right now for sure. Then, of course, we have Jean, super versatile across a bunch of different ranges, just misses out on the top 10. And then Carl and Gus as well, two really strong brawlers. So starting off with the 10th best brawler, then we have Grom. So Grom, for me, is a really strong brawler, still in his meta, even with his damage constantly getting nerfed, all of his other things getting nerfed about him, he still continues to be one of the most annoying brawlers in the game. I don't know about you guys, but me personally, I just ban Grom whenever it's knockout, whenever it's bounty or kind of cheesy Grom map. I just ban him because he's still a really strong brawler with a small projectile speed buff that he has gained from how he was in his previous state about 6 months ago. It's made a big difference. As I said, knockout, bounty, he's that carry brawler. So for me, Grom, he's still incredibly strong. Right, guys, jumping into the 9th best brawler in the game right now, we have RT. So I was a bit reluctant to put RT a little bit higher. A lot of people think he's like a top 3 brawler or maybe even the best brawler in the game. Me personally, I think number 9 is probably good, maybe a little bit higher. We'll see how he fares in the qualifiers this weekend, but I think he's a really strong brawler. The best thing about him is that he can, of course, deal with multiple brawlers in his different forms. So, of course, he's got his long range, which he's got really fast projectile speed. It's actually pretty hard to hit, but it's really fast, and if you have really good accuracy, you're going to be able to counter those other sharpshooters. And, of course, you've got a gadget to take them out really quickly as well. And then, of course, you've got his other form, which, of course, in super form, literally any brawler, I think even an Ashe, you can two-shot them like instantly. It's insane. So of course, especially when it comes down to drafting, you always want that brawler which is good against everything. RT is that brawler I've seen pretty much everywhere right now, even in game modes which I think he's not the strongest on, like Heist for example. He's still a fantastic option. I think every single game mode right now I'm seeing him being drafted for sure. So next up, as the 8th best brawler in the meta right now, we have Stu. So I wanted to put Stu somewhere in the top 10. I just feel like a good Stu player can absolutely pop off. Of course, he's still only really strong in like game modes like Brawl, GM Grab and Hot Zone, maybe used elsewhere, but I just think he's that flashy brawler which is still really excels. There's only a few hard counters to him out there. He can work his way around multiple matchups, and he's just always the brawler that's making those pop-off plays. So he's always been like a top 15, top 20 brawler. I think people are just a little bit apprehensive and saying like he's still a fantastically strong brawler. You know, he's got two really good gadgets, two good star powers. Stu is definitely a powerhouse in this meta. So next up, as the 7th best brawler in the game right now, we have Ashe. So Ashe still continues to absolutely dominate. Watching ESL NA this weekend, he's just still one of the brawlers that just tends to carry the most, especially when it comes down to bounty, when it comes down to Brawl, gem grab. There's just so many scenarios where Ashe is that really strong brawler. So time and time again, I'll mention that the good thing about Ashe is the fact that he can counter his counters with his rats, and a good Ashe player, especially once you get that damage gear pops, you can two-shot so many brawlers. He has a really good range for a tank as well, and of course with 8,000 HP, even if you're about to go low, if you have full rage, you can just pop that gadget and get yourself a couple of extra 1,000 health as well. It's just so many broken things about Ashe. Hopefully he's going to get nerfed soon because he's just so dominant right now. So next up, as the 6th best brawler in the game right now, we have Janet. So Janet still continues to be one of the best brawlers in the game. I don't really see her used all the time in ladder, but when it comes down to competitive, she's just always that safe pick. Whenever you don't know who to go, pretty much everywhere, maybe except for the absolutely open maps like Shoot and Start, you can just go with Janet. She's really safe against everything. She's got a really good super, really good gadgets, and just really easy to hit attacks, and that's the main reason why she's actually strong. Like, some people put in the comment section and say, well, Janet, why is she actually strong? Like, I don't get it. Maybe lower level she isn't that brawler that can absolutely carry, but I think it's just a consistency with her. She's good against everything, and especially on some game modes like Hot Zone or maybe Bounty where you need some pressure brawlers, you know, secretly she can just get so much pressure and control for you. So now moving on to the 5th best brawler in the game right now, we have Crow. So Crow is still that pesty brawler right now, which a lot of people find him really annoying. So I think in competitive, he's pretty much the most banned brawler because he'll counter so many different brawlers which people like to play, you know, like Stu, for example, or Max. Crow just tends to counter them so hard. He's that really annoying brawler, as I mentioned, like in Brawl, Gem Grab, Heist, literally anywhere, even Hot Zone as well. There's multiple maps as well. Not used so much in the bounty and knockout game modes because he's a little bit too squishy in those game modes, but overall it's just so strong because you can just keep enemies like poisoned. Like the poison effect is just such a broken mechanic anyway. And then of course you've got the anti-healing buff, well, debuff actually, and then you've got the slow. Just so many different things about him. His super can just make game-changing plays. Crow is just such an annoying brawler in this meta and super strong. So now moving on to the 4th best brawler in the game right now, we still have Otis. So Otis still continues to be that safe brawler that can deal with literally everything. He's so crazy strong right now. When it comes down to competitive, he's pretty much picked or banned, or just throughout every single map and game mode, you can always consider an Otis because he can deal with everything. He's got really good range, so even those brawlers typically like B that look to counter him, he can still win that matchup if he's a good Otis because he has quite a decent amount of HP. Of course, you got the mute that can counter every single brawler in the game, and just everything about him is just super strong. As I mentioned, he's pretty much usable in every single game mode, and that's the main reason why he's so strong. So next up, as the 3rd best brawler in the game right now, we have Penny. So the top 3, I could literally put them in any position, but Penny at number 3, I think the main reason why is because a lot of people just don't seem to absolutely carry with this brawler. She's a brawler that's just good against everything. There's never really any moments where you just completely team wipe with Penny, but over time she has one of the best supers in the game, one of the best gadgets in the game that can counter those tanks, and as I mentioned, just everywhere you can play her, every single Brawl map, every gem grab map, heist maps, she can be really good with her turret. Just literally, it's the 4th player on the game. That's how annoying it can be a lot of times. She can cycle it so easy now because of how fast her projectile speed. I just think Penny doesn't really take much skill to play in this meta, and that's the main reason why she's so strong. So next up, as the 2nd best brawler in the game right now, we have B. So I could easily put B at number 1 as well. You know, me personally, when I'm playing ladder, I think B is the brawler that I find the most annoying, especially when I'm trying to push like an off-meta brawler or like a tank. You know, when I'm playing Brawl, B just says no. She counters literally everything, and when I'm watching especially the higher players push, they have to have a B in their composition because she can absolutely carry. So of course, again, B is just so good everywhere. It's the fact that you can just spam out shots relentlessly over and over again, whilst normal sharpshooters, they normally have quite a slow reload speed. So of course, it's got to be accurate. With B, it doesn't even matter. You can just keep throwing out those shots constantly, whether it's just your normal damage or whether it's your big shot, whether it's your big shot with a damage gear activated, whether you've slowed the opponents as well, which only takes 3 shots to cycle, which is just insane. Everything about B is just crazy broken in this meta. Alright guys, so jumping into the best brawler in the game right now, we have Max. So Max is definitely that type of carry brawler, and when we're looking at statistics as well, she's always the most banned, always one of the most played as well, and especially when looking at scrims as well, she's in every single region pretty much. She's got the highest pick rate and the highest win rate, which is just absolutely insane. So it's just crazy that Max hasn't received any type of nerf, and the main reason why she's so good is because she's got really good HP, really consistent damage, and her super can completely change the game. And there's not many brawlers really right now that counter Max fully. I think the only brawler that properly counters Max is probably Crow. Maybe Stu has a good matchup, but overall, she can wiggle her way around everything. And as I said, she's just good everywhere. Good Max can win every single matchup. Alright guys, it's going to be it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed this one. Let me know what you think of my top 10 ranking. In terms of like the top 6, it's not really changed too much. Maybe I could have put RT a little bit higher, but in terms of the top 3 in particular, I think those 3 are the ones that you can't change. I think you can have zero debates about Max, B, and also the Penny. Literally all those 3 brawlers are just insane right now. So hopefully we'll get some balance changes pretty soon and switch up the top 10 of the meta, because it is a pretty stale. It's the same brawlers over and over again. Hopefully, you know, brawlers like Otis, Janet, Penny, B, and Max do get some sort of change. We get some other brawlers that are the best. So that's going to be it for today's video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.